Wow! And we are just entering Falls Canyon and it is already gorgeous.
Okay, I slept really well last night, and now we are feeling like we're in better shape to get up and over this and down onto the other side. So other than me running out of gas on the climb yesterday, so far things have been hanging together fairly well. I've got the usual kind of aches and pains around the pack, and my feet are feeling a little bit beat up, but that's what happens when you're off trail and taking prednisone for months at a time. Okay, one good night's sleep and 3 cups of coffee later, and let's see if we can get over this wimpy little hill. So this is the water source we used last night. We were kind of hoping there would be at least some sort of camp since people seem to congregate around water sources. Also, the PCT is just on the other side of this ridge. This is the last bit before Sonora Pass. Oh yeah. So that is Kennedy Lake. I assume that is Kennedy Meadow that the outfitter is named for. The actual outfitter is a ways down that canyon past the reservoir. And that in the background is Big Sam that we are going straight over after a PCT junction. That is not a bad view for first thing in the morning. We were camped down there. I was looking at the map and going, oh, okay, PCT is on the top of this ridge and there's guaranteed to be camps up there. So that was kind of my fallback. Our trail came up this steep thing and then hit this kind of old mining road, and PCT junction is over there. So our lower route was to go back there and around, do some extra miles, but not get as remote. And the PCT climbs up and goes out to Sonora Pass, where most people hitch to Kennedy Meadows North. So I laid that route out, but Jen liked the idea of staying kind of more into the interior on a more remote stretch of trail. So you can see the switchbacks up above, and that bump to the left is Big Sam. Higher up you get out here in places like this, less likely you are to find campsites. Personally, I have a bivvy I like pairing with my quilt when I was peak bagging. And that's kind of perfect for places like this. Because if I pair it with an air mattress, I can be out on this little platform right ahead and not even feel the sharp rocks.
It's kind of ugly up here.
Blondie.
Last night was much
Oh, this is feeling so much better today. Probably. Okay. So this is officially the high point of our trip. There's Kennedy Peak over there. We are going to go tag the high point of Big Sam, and then it is trending downwards to Hetch Hetchy. Oh, yeehaw. And there is a register. So Hetch Hetchy is vaguely over that away, which is also where Yosemite Valley is. I'm not seeing Half Dome or anything. It's probably back behind, but that is all over in that general area.
Wow!
Oh, Jesus. Oh.
How's High Immigrant Lake?
Very cold, High Immigrant Lake. So this is actually a man-made dam here. It looks like that machinery there used to open the sluice gate. So that is Grizzly Peak up above, and I believe this is Immigrant Pass. That looks like that rock's all crap. Why are you always making me climb the crappy things? Yeah, Sasha is over here. We didn't... Okay, so this was just a short climb up to Bond Pass, which is basically a minor saddle. And now we are dropping down to the PCT, and we will be entering Jack Main Canyon, which is usually very pretty. In early season, a mosquito nightmare. Look familiar, Blondie?
PCT.
She doesn't remember it. So the PCT is blazed. These days they get stolen, but every now and then you find one of these old ones that is quite embedded. So it is 3 o'clock. We are now on the PCT overlap for Jack Main Canyon for about 7 miles down to, I think it is, Wilma Lake. At that point, we are going to continue on to a canyon with a lot of waterfalls from what we remember before, while the PCT cuts off to the side. We are basically at about the 10-mile mark right now. So if we do another 7 down to Wilma, should be pretty easy downhill, gradual. That should be doable. That leaves us with 15 miles tomorrow to get to the pre-Hetch Hetchy campsite we had picked out. We want to be doing the low section around Hetch Hetchy early in the day. And then because of the Jeep overheat issues, our plan is actually to get out and be back at the Jeep Sunday night, so we can drive out early in the morning on Monday before the heat gets bad. So we'd originally intended to stay at Lake Eleanor a few miles from the Jeep for the last night, but we're gonna head out and then probably start driving pre-dawn. And we got trail crews working back there. We got to be the first people to try out their steps. They were quite nice. And per those guys, there's good news and bad news. Some of the sections we were concerned about have actually been logged. So less down logs, some brush, but they were claiming that there are some problematic bears in a few spots. But that's okay. Blondie will hug them to keep them away from the food. And then he wanted to fight Tuggy's cancer, but it turned out it was a disease, not a person. So he found an old guy with cancer to beat up. Oh, this is okay.
This is beautiful.
We've been running across multiple work crews here, including the most memorable being one who was shirtless wearing a tweed jacket. And Jen's comment was concern because we've been here a month or two earlier and there were so many mosquitoes we could not stop. We had to have our rain gear on the entire time. And then they go back to Robin Hood times and he has a sword fight with a spoon. Okay, and sadly, for better or worse, I do believe this is where we exit the PCT. Could hike down to Yosemite, Blondie. And instead we go into Falls Canyon and make our way to Hetchy Hetchy. Hetch Hetchy! God, they should have called it Hetchy Hetchy. Park out here.
I didn't remember much from our previous loop hike that we did in this area that was shorter. The one enduring impression I had was I remembered Falls Canyon I really loved Falls Canyon. I loved the rushing water over the steep granite. And we are just entering Falls Canyon and it is already gorgeous. The water isn't rushing nearly as much this time around, given that we're in late season, but you still have the impressive granite on both sides dropping off into these clear, deep pools of water.
We have been making really good time today, unless it is an area that Jen finds really pretty or it has a lot of butterflies, in which case, oy. This would have been fun in spring. Yeah, wouldn't that be the thing? I don't let people use bear spray in the wilderness class because, you know, it's absolutely not needed, and then I'm killed and they're all like, if only you'd had bear spray. So the problem we are really having is this canyon is really cool, but as you can see, like in spring, a lot of water comes down here. So any of the normal surfaces that we'd camp on are underwater. So we keep having to look up high, and there are limited options. We have found a few marginal things we could probably pull off. Unfortunately, the trekking pole tent, as they are, tends to have a wider footprint. So certain things that would work in a Nemo are hard on the trekking pole tent.
Matt found me a really awesome camp in Falls Canyon, surrounded by these huge granite cliffs and within earshot of a waterfall.
So after much running around on the rocks, we managed to find a spot just big enough to fit the tent. Again, if I had the Nemo, I could do so much more. Jen is currently very happy because we're in the heart of Falls Canyon. There is a waterfall over there where she is getting water. And yeah, I am happy because she is happy, and I am also very sore because we did almost 19-mile day today up and over Big Sam. Tomorrow should be interesting. We are hoping to get down to Hetch Hetchy. We have a campsite picked out before we get really low, but we are getting into warmer and warmer climbs, so we'll see how this goes.
Home sweet home for the night.